Fight!
Welcome back to Is It Still Good, the channel that didn't feel like breaking out the pop filter today. Today, we're going to get into our second versus battle ever. I'm really excited. But first, let's try to sell you people a book. Okay, hopefully we sold you people some books, and I'm really excited about this versus battle. This one comes to us courtesy of our viewer, Larry D., who says, a few great suggestions, by the way, that I'll probably end up getting around to, but the one that jumped out at me the most was a Don Bluth double feature, The Land Before Time, up against the other animated classic from him, The Secret of Nimh. And I have to tell you, as soon as I read this, I knew it was the one to jump into. First of all, I really want to show off my bumpers here, my new versus bumpers. By the way, a lot of editing. Nobody's even mentioned anything about that, but I love them. And two, both of these films had a profound impact on me as a youngster. So because it came out first, 1982 versus The Land Before Time, 1988, we're going to start with The Secret of Nimh. Directed by Don Bluth. So it's an adaptation of Robert C. O'Brien's novel, Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of Nimh. If you want to go read that one, I'm actually curious to read it now. It's a really cool story. It won an award and was nominated for 2 others. What did it win? Best Animated Film Saturn Award, nominee Best Fantasy Film. Interesting. And that was about it. So, Secret of Nimh. This one really screwed me up when I was young, obviously. I was young for all of this. This came out when I was 2 years old, so I just grew up watching The Secret of Nimh. The animation is so haunting. It is very dark. The owl is very scary. The rats are very humanized, and you forget you're watching a story about mice and rats and animals, and you really get sucked into it. So as a little guy, I felt the tension throughout this film. The sword battles in it were very exciting to me. The kids were very relatable and obnoxious and funny. Does this film hold up? Hell yeah, it holds up. The old guy is so cool. All these cast of characters are amazing. It's well written. The voice acting is awesome. I really love the cat Dragon. Love the crow, super funny. Dom DeLuise voicing the crow here. Classic animated feature. I mean, what's there to say about The Secret of Nimh? You guys have seen it. It is a gorgeous, well-told story. Very dark, very well acted. The direction is awesome. The animation is super cool. You can tell everybody was very passionate about this. I mean, hell, if I really got to give this a number, which I really don't want to, I'm going to give this a clean 9 out of 10. It's so good. It's such a good movie. Thank you, Larry, for not only reminding me to go back and watch this, but also for DMing our games. Thank you, buddy. It's in my D&D group. Yeah, pretty amazing. Now, Land Before Time. The Land Before Time has an uphill battle ahead of it. You guys know I don't give out 9s willy-nilly. But this movie also had a profound impact on me. 1988, I was a bit older, and the animation's a little smoother in this one. You can really see it. Cleaned up nicely. Really memorable characters. Remember, they went on to make like 8 of these. So this was the OG, the first one, the one everybody watched. To this day, when I'm at an event and somebody is purchasing one of my books from me, I tell them to make with the tree stars. That's what I refer to money as, is tree stars to this day. So I'm 42. This came out when I was 8. I still say tree stars on a damn near daily basis. Big impact on me. Bambi was the movie where I was really kind of exposed to death, the idea of death, for the first time. But it was Land Before Time that made me realize that death could find anyone, including children. The Land Before Time starts, much like The Secret of Nimh, starts with a catastrophe. Everybody's out of food, kids get separated, T-Rex hunting them. Very scary stuff. That T-Rex is horrifying. Now, is that T-Rex as scary as the owl from Secret of Nimh? Hell no. That owl was neutral. That's what made it so scary. It didn't care if it ate the little mouse or not. Mrs. Frisby. Because she has to go to the owl for help. I know I'm supposed to be talking about Land Before Time, but we're comparing the two. This is a battle. And point by point, we're going to go through it. We already talked about Secret of Nimh, so I have to reference it. Now, Land Before Time, animated very smoothly. By comparison, Secret of Nimh would be a little choppy. But I'm just going to tell you, I prefer the hardship of Secret of Nimh, where they have to relocate their house to children starving. It's just not a fun thing to think about. moving your house. Okay, I can get behind that. We got to move the house. It's like a cinder block they live in or something. I forget. But like a big stone. Okay, not the end of the world. And you can always rebuild another house. But when characters are starving, yes, the stakes are higher, but we're talking about children's films here. You know, I don't necessarily need high stakes in my children's films, right? So for that, I'm going to have to give Land Before Time. It's excellent. I mean, but it's sad. It's funny. Three horns never play with long necks. I still love that. That's great. Land Before Time's awesome. I mean, show your kids Land Before Time for sure. Nobody's saying otherwise, but this is a battle. And Land Before Time just so happens to be up against The Secret of Nimh back when Don Bluth was hitting hard, was going dark, didn't care about what Hollywood had to say, was just telling a story. Land Before Time, same thing, for sure, but definitely more Hollywoodified, definitely more, I mean, this is more cartoonish in appearance even. The colors are brighter, you know, there's some scary stuff in it for sure, but on a whole, The Land Before Time looks like a happy-go-lucky little kids movie. The Secret of Nimh, right from the onset of looking at the cover, you know you're in trouble. You know you're in trouble. Look at that owl. You know? Scary stuff. I like The Secret of Nimh for letting you know what it's about right from the cover. I like The Secret of Nimh in the sense that it's darker in its illustration, but the story is a little, I don't know. I can get behind the story a little more. I don't want to starve. You know what I mean? As a little kid, I was really worried about food after that. It kind of gave me a complex. You know, The Land Before Time screwed me up in the same way that Jaws screwed me up later in life where I don't like going in the ocean now. If anything, The Land Before Time is a little bit of a traumatic experience for me, whereas The Secret of Nimh brought me into those dark waters, but let me exit the story safely with a happy ending, and we survived the darkness. Not everybody. There is mortality at stake here. There is death at stake, and we do see it, but it's done in a way I could digest as a little kid. It stayed with me. Upon the rewatch, I found that one to be much more palatable for my 42-year-old eyes. I just had much more fun with it. So I gotta give The Land Before Time like an 8. It's like an 8 out of 10. I mean, it's really high. It's a really good score. But it ain't no 9 out of 10. So our winner, by a convincing margin, even just that one whole point, is The Secret of Nimh. Thank you, Larry D, for giving us this suggestion. We love you guys. And remember, check out our Patreon. We're going to start featuring all our patrons once we get a bunch up on the channel. I'm just going to list your names as heroes. You'll be heroes of the channel. You will receive early content, early access to all the videos, extended videos, merch, what else? Oh yeah, my books. You get my books. I'm going to put my audiobooks on there too once I finish recording those. But you will get free PDF copies now. For anything, I forget which tiers, but it ain't gonna break the bank. So check out patreon.com/isitstillgood. And thank you guys so much just for watching. Thank you, Larry D, again for the suggestion. Keep the versus suggestions coming. Other than that, I'll see you guys next Friday on Is It Still Good?